Hey everybody, it's Brad Montgomery from bradmontgomery.com. It's video number 2 in the series, Combating Burnout in the Workplace. So today we're talking about creating a culture of positivity, which when I hear those words, I almost want to yawn because I'm like, whatever. But I'm telling you, there's some cool science behind this, and it's not as fluffy and as kind of hard to grasp as it seems. It's a lot more than just saying, be happy, everybody. So you know what positivity is. Well, we don't need to go through it, but just in case you have been living under a rock for 20 years, at work, there should be a sense of hope. There should be a sense of people want to go to work. There should be a sense that people enjoy meeting together and working together and being together. There should be a sense of, I like this job, even though there might be parts of it that we don't like. That's what positivity is. The easiest way to describe positivity, I've thought for years, is to describe what it's not. And you know that too. When you go to work and you just feel like your manager's mean and doesn't appreciate you and doesn't notice you, and your workmates are toxic and everyone can't wait to get out, that's not what you want. So let's talk about how to get over workplace stress and burnout by using positivity. So if you look through some of the journals and some of the resources about what people have written about it, there are some good ideas, but I'm telling you, the last idea in this video is the best idea. So some of the ways to cultivate a positive workplace environment includes things like gratitude. So is a remarkable amount of science that tells us that taking the time to notice things for which we are grateful and label them as things for which we are grateful can change our body chemistry. It changes your brain. Again, it sounds a little bit woo-woo and fluffy, but I'm telling you, the science is clear. If you focus on, hey, I'm thankful that I have help on this really hard job. Oh, I'm thankful that I have a job because this enables me to live my life and feed my kids. I'm happy that I have a job that challenges me. I'm happy to have a job for which I'm gonna, as I grow, my career will grow. Sometimes it's things like that, but sometimes it's little tiny things like, I'm thankful that the coffee is really delicious today. I'm thankful that somebody cleaned up the kitchen. I'm thankful that it didn't rain again today, right? It doesn't have to, the science is weird on gratitude. The degree of those things for which you're grateful does not impact the science of how this impacts your brain. In other words, being thankful for very small things like, my pencil's very sharp, tricks your brain out just as much as being grateful for your health or the fact that your kids are safe or whatever like that. So what does that mean for you? It means we can do this as individuals. Writing down is the best. Having some sort of sticky note or a formal journal or whatever, or something on your computer, typing out, here's 3 things for which I am grateful today. And just make it a habit. It sounds fluffy, but I'm telling you that works. This also can be done as a team. So there's no reason at the start of every meeting why you shouldn't take a moment and say, we're going to go around the room. Everyone has 12 seconds to give us one thing for which they are grateful. And at first, I'm telling you, you're going to have some crossed arms and people will be miserable. And like, I don't like this kind of Care Bear stuff. Be brave, be strong. They will learn. If your culture was perfect, you wouldn't be listening to this video. Clearly, you're going to have to change some things, and not all changes are popular at first. All right, so, go around the room. And by the way, as a leader, you're going to have to lead this thing, right? You better start and tell them what kinds of stuff you're grateful for and just be super happy. And as you go around that room, if you're the leader, you need to make sure you call people out and say, that is fantastic. That's what we're talking about. Well done. Yes. I'm grateful for that too. Right? You're going to have to encourage people. Another way to encourage positivity at work is a strength-based approach. And this one I think is pretty straightforward, but it's often overlooked in the workplace. Do you have the right people doing the right jobs at the right time? Are you forcing people to do things that they're not any good at or hate? And can you make changes to make sure that people are doing things that they enjoy and are good at? That might sound like such a small thing, but you'd be amazed how rarely people take time to do that. So if you're the leader, you should be asking your team in your reviews, And shoot, just meet him at the coffee machine and ask him. If you're not the leader, it's time to take your own destiny in your hands and talk to your supervisors and your managers and whoever it is and say, like, you know what? I am fantastic at that thing over there. I'm not as good at this thing over here. Does it make sense to make sure I'm doing more of this for which I'm like super skilled and less of that? Can we talk about that? A manager who is a good manager will take that conversation 19 times out of 20. Oh, you want to do what? You're really good at what? Oh, and you've kind of figured out how to do this? Of course they want to know that. So how else do we create positivity in order to manage burnout at work? Well, there are a lot of programs now with bigger corporations about wellness and gym memberships and mindfulness and mindfulness apps and having a quiet room and a nap room and all that stuff. And I'm not against that. But I kind of think they overpromise. So it turns out the studies are, yes, those things do help, but it's very marginal. So, having Taco Tuesday and bringing in lunch on Tuesday, they like that. That helps. It doesn't help as much as you would think. Which leads me to what I think is the really the biggest one at all. It comes down to you. Are you bringing a positive attitude to work? Are you being fun and sunny? Are you strategically thinking, before I walk in the door, I need to put a smile on my face and tell myself, I'm digging this job. I'm going to have a good time today. I will enjoy work today. And I am willing to infect other people with this positive attitude. It's up to you. So if you are a worker bee or you're working around your peers, make sure you're the positive person. We know this. Positivity is infectious. Happiness is infectious. If you come in and purposely are happy, you will spread that. If you are a leader, I'm talking to you now. It starts at the top. Yes, your team is doing their best to bring a positive attitude, but if you're sabotaging them by being negative yourself, what do you think's going to win? The people working their hardest to be positive, or you letting them know that you don't appreciate them and you don't care and this is an awful place to work? What can you do to make sure people feel appreciated, seen, important, significant, valued? What can you do to make sure that you're glad they're there? Well, here's the silver bullet, and it is my expertise. The answer is strategic uses and a deployment of encouragement. Your job is easy. Make sure you let people know you appreciate them. So when you're dealing with a workplace that's toxic and is not positive, well, that means your compliments are going to look something like this. Oh, Janelle, when you kind of made that little joke in the meeting when it sort of got tense, and that broke the ice, and then then the meeting started. That's what we need, and thank you for that kind of positivity. How do you think that's going to make Janelle feel? Maybe it's little things like letting people know, you know what, you're one of the people that is trying hard to make this a positive culture, and I want you to know I've noticed and I appreciate it, and it's important, and don't stop. When you see this, you have to call them out. When you see good behavior, you need to reward good behavior. And finally, just make sure you're not the whiny person. We talked about negativity being infectious. If you're the leader, how are you doing on that? Are you using all of the things that you know to be true about positive psychology and positivity? Or are you being kind of the whiny loser that's bringing everyone down? Are you the anchor that's pulling that ship down? It's time to have a close look. And by the way, you might need help on that. I have worked with a lot of leaders who think they're being positive. What they don't know is none of their team thinks they're positive. Their team thinks, oh my gosh, this person is impossible to work for, and we're walking around on eggshells and we hate working here because of that one person. And yet that leader doesn't know it. So you might need to bring in some of your allies and say, here's what I think is going on. What do you think? All right. My name is Brad Montgomery. You can learn more about me at bradmontgomery.com. I'm a professional keynote business speaker, and I speak about people skills. I speak about positivity and the science of happiness, but most of all, I speak about the jaw-dropping, undeniable power of encouragement. It is a strategy you cannot afford to ignore, and this one specifically helps deal with positive workplaces and burnout. You can't miss it. Give me a call, and we'll talk about customizing a program for your organization to help get your team to where they deserve to be. And I'm telling you, they deserve not to be burnt out, and they deserve to work in a positive environment. And you deserve to work in an environment where people enjoy being there and you are killing it as an organization. Give us a call and we'll talk more. Thanks, everybody.